Welcome to round one of the Caribbean Union Bank Intersecondary School Debate Series.
Caribbean Union Bank for all your banking needs. Credit cards, savings, accounts, and CDs. POS terminals for convenience. Or helping you with small business development. Whether you need help to achieve your goal. Or land loans and mortgages for your dream home. Supporting many programs to help the nation's youth. CUB is always here for you. Times are changing, don't you know? CUB, you can bank on us. Whatever you need, just let us know. CUB, you can bank on us. Saving your money and your time with the quality service we provide. Banking the better way every time. CUB, you can bank on us.
CUB cares. Call us today at 481-8278. Let's talk.
Welcome to round one of the Caribbean Union Bank Intersecondary School Debate Series. A special welcome to you, our studio and television audiences. It is so great having you join us this evening. Remember to join us weekly for informative and exciting debates brought to you with the kind compliments of Caribbean Union Bank. First round of the 2024 Intersecondary School Debate, we have with us this evening the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School and the Sonovel Richards Academy. And they are meeting to debate the moot. School cafeterias should only serve healthy options. School cafeterias should only serve healthy options. It is time to meet our teams. And we're going to start with the proposition this evening, the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. Let's meet them.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Roberts, and I am the first speaker of the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School.
Good evening, my name is Amaya Moore and I'm the second speaker of the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School.
Good afternoon, my name is Arissa George and I'm first alternate speaker.
Good evening, my name is Adrian Brown and I am the second alternate speaker.
All right, round of applause for the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. We now move on to the opposition this evening, the Sonovel Richards Academy. Let's hear from them.
Good evening. I am Teresa Desri, and I will be the first speaker for the Sonovel Richards Academy.
Good evening. My name is Janelle Charles, and I am the second speaker for the Sonovel Richards Academy.
Good evening. I am Jay Joseph, the first standby speaker from the Sonovel Richards Academy.
Good evening. I am Zion Williams, the second standby speaker for the Sonovel Richards Academy.
There you have it. Round of applause for our opposition this evening, the Sonovel Richards Academy. As is customary, a panel of judges will decide on the team that will advance in the competition. Joining us this evening are Ursel Charles Jr., Deputy Director of News and Current Affairs, ABS TV. Gavin Emmanuel, Director of the National Archive, and Elissa Graham, Public Relations Officer for the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission. Round of applause for our judges. Our alternate judge this evening is Mr. Kieran Murdoch. And of course, as usual, keeping the time this evening is the lovely Miss Aisha Lynch. Come on, give her a round of applause. We will begin with the proposition's first speaker, Jordan Roberts, followed by Sonovel Richards Academy, Dorecia Desri. We will then move on to the second speakers from each team. First speakers will be given 5 minutes for their presentations, and second speakers, 3 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 1 minute and twice before the allotted time has expired. Following the presentations, we will move on to the rebuttals. In that segment, 3 minutes will be given to each debater. It is time for our first break. When we come back, on the other side of the break, the competition begins.
Caribbean Union Bank for all your banking needs. Credit cards, savings accounts, and CDs. POS terminals for convenience. While helping you with small business development. Whether you need help to achieve your goal, or land loans and mortgages for your dream home. Supporting many programs to help the nation's youth. CUB is always here for you. Times are changing, don't you know? CUB, you can bank on us. Whatever you need, just let us know. CUB, you can bank on us. Saving your money and your time with the quality service we provide. Banking the better way every time. CUB, you can bank on us.
CUB cares. Call us today at 481-8278. Let's talk.
Welcome back to the Caribbean Union Bank Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. If you're just joining us, the moot for this encounter in the first round between the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School and the Sonovel Richards Academy is: school cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. I will repeat. School cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. We will now begin this encounter with the first speaker from the proposition, Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. Please welcome Jordan Roberts. Give her a round of applause.
Madam Moderator, distinguished judges, worthy opponents, listening and viewing audience, good evening. My colleague and I are here to propose the moot that school cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. Before we begin looking at the significant arguments, key terms in this moot need to be clearly defined. The Cambridge Dictionary defines school as a place where children go to get education, and a cafeteria as a place that serves food and drink after paying for it. Only is defined by Oxford Languages Dictionary as solely or nothing more besides. Sonia Smith, nutritionist at the St. Kitts Ministry of Health, defines healthy food options as foods that are nutrient-dense and low in fats, salts, and sugars. This is supported by Salem Press Encyclopedia of Health, which describe healthy food options as foods that are nutrient-dense and low in fats, salts, and sugars. With these definitions... This is supported by the Salem Press Encyclopedia of Health, which describes nutrient density as the proportion of micro and macronutrients found within a particular food in comparison to that food's overall calories. With these definitions in mind, I confidently posit that school cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. Madam Moderator, I will examine the impact of healthy food options on the physical health of children, and my colleague will be looking at the implications on children's emotional well-being and academic performance. Madam Moderator, lifelong health habits are begun during childhood and become even more established over adolescence. Healthy food options are best introduced while a person is young. Children and adolescents who do not intake their proper amounts of nutrients are at risk of developing multiple non-communicable diseases and various types of cancers. Is this what we want for our precious children? Mrs. Sonia Smith notes that people begin to develop these diseases very early in life, sometimes as early as 2 years old. According to the Health Caribbean Coalition, 1 in 4 children is overweight or obese, which is linked to many non-communicable diseases. Latrishka Thomas, in an article in the Daily Observer, further noted that data collected by the Ministry of Health in 2021 among young children found that 70% consume sugar-sweetened beverages and sodas more often than water. Think about that, 70%? Madam Moderator, our schools can have an impact on our children. Providing only healthy food options should not be a choice in our educational institutions. It should be the only option, because developing healthy eating habits matters to overall health. In addition, school policies on food serve to promote improved diets in students. Patty et al. In 2021 in their article, Our Closed Campus Policies Associated with Adolescents' Eating Behavior, state that not allowing students to purchase foods outside of school improves adolescents' diet quality. These policies allow for reduced consumptions of sugar-sweetened beverages and unhealthy food options. The study also notes that children consume approximately 1/3 of their total intake during school hours. According to Beagleman 30, 2019, the majority of food offerings around the schools are unhealthy options. If schools can provide only healthy eateries, students are most likely to be encouraged to choose healthier meals. Given the choice between healthy and unhealthy options for food, even with education, students are more likely to choose unhealthy options. You can have fried chicken or lentil rolls. Students, which will you choose? Offering only healthy options helps students make wise choices. Finally, educational institutions play a vital role in shaping the values and attitudes of their students towards healthy eating. The government and school leaders do have the power to introduce policies that will limit the exposure to external vendors while reinforcing healthy policies for the internal vendors. Nurse Valerie Williams, the non-communicable disease NCD coordinator in the health ministry, says the situation in the country school has become untenable. Vendors are selling everything that's sweet, salty, and unhealthy, and schools sometimes offer the same. She asked, why are children having sodas, hot dogs, pizzas, and fried chicken for breakfast and lunch? Seventh-day Adventist schools are strong promoters of healthy lifestyles. At our institution, Wednesday is water only day, and students are discouraged from bringing unhealthy options. Our school cafeterias can serve only healthy food options and send a powerful message about the importance of eating healthy. As stressed in our definition of schools, they are institutions of education. Students do not learn well with impaired nutrition. Madam Moderator, should we settle for quick fixes? Should we not be concerned about our children's health? Do we want our children to be taking pressure pills, having dialysis treatments every 2 weeks, succumbing to stroke, heart failure, and heart disease, or because they want to temporarily enjoy the excess fat, the excess sugar, and the excess salt? Absolutely not. It takes courage to lead, courage to make a difference, and all school cafeterias should be required through policies to serve only healthy options. I thank you.
Round of applause. Come on, give it up for Jordan Roberts of the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School, and she completed her presentation in a time of 5 minutes and 1 second. Another round of applause. We now move on to the opposition. From the Sonovell Richards Academy, please welcome Doricia Desiree.
Madam Moderator, distinguished judges, esteemed opponents, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My colleague and I stand before you to vehemently refute the mood which states school cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. As per the Cambridge Dictionary, school cafeteria is an establishment where warm meals are served daily. Only means nothing other than the object specified. Healthy denotes something beneficial for one's well-being. Food is defined as things that people or animals eat. Option is an act of choosing. Madam Moderator, the move requires that we examine whether only nutritious or healthy foods should be sold in our school cafeterias. With the opposition, strongly disagree. Honorable judges, while promoting a balanced diet and good nutrition is crucial, rigid restriction on our food choices in school cafeterias will raise serious concern. Therefore, my argument will focus on 1, the exorbitant cost of such a venture, 2, the inability to consistently secure healthy foods, and 3, its impractical implementation, while my colleague will examine its repercussions. Firstly, Madam Moderator, let us assess the current food prices. Universally, food prices have significantly increased since the COVID-19 pandemic. Likewise, the United Nations asserts that the energy crisis and the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, which are the foremost global producers of wheat, have only served to intensify this issue. Worthy opponents, are you aware that the additional 2% increase in the ABSD, as reported in the December 15 edition of the Daily Observer, has amplified concerns about food security? Given the escalating food prices, can cafeterias feasibly afford to purchase these foods, especially when the National Health Institute says that healthy foods cost twice as much? Esteemed opponents, some individuals can't even afford to buy white flour, let alone wheat. Contrary to what the proposition is advocating, the cost of healthy foods must be significantly reduced before this proposal can be considered. Secondly, Madam Moderator, if school cafeterias cannot afford these ingredients, how will they acquire them? The answer lies in the agricultural sector. However, honorable judges, aside from eggs, can we independently cultivate enough produce to cater to our needs? The answer is a resounding no. Madam Moderator, a significant concern is the availability of land required to grow the produce needed to supply these facilities. While it is often claimed that agriculture is everyone's business, the current circumstances portrayed in the media led me to question this belief. Worthy opponents, the Daily Observer report on January 9th highlighted the plight of Dunbar's laborers who were forcibly uprooted, much like their vegetables, to make room for housing. Learned opponents, how can an agricultural ministry undermine its own food security? Haven't we learned anything from the COVID-19 pandemic? Esteemed opponents, if the success of your proposal depends on our nation's food security, then the viability of this proposal will be like dust gone with the wind. Thirdly, the implementation of this proposal is impractical. Madam Moderator, it is simply inconceivable that these facilities can supply nationwide healthy options to all 82 of our schools. Therefore, I would like to present the facts and figures. My worthy opponents, according to the World Bank, the current population of Antigua and Barbuda as of 2022 is 94,000. However, the research division of the Ministry of Education revealed in 2015 that nearly 20% of our population is enrolled in primary and secondary schools. Are you suggesting, dear opponents, that we can provide 18,000 of these healthy meals daily to 18,000 students? I think not. TheProgressiveGrocer.com states that only 64% of students purchase meals from cafeterias. It is unimaginable to think that about 13 public secondary schools can accommodate 64% of their 6,300 students. To delve further, do you believe that the Princess Margaret School cafeterias can provide these healthy meals to 621 of its 971 students within a 30-minute lunch break every single day? My worthy opponent, the statistics do not deceive. This endeavor is neither practical nor feasible. Furthermore, distinguished judges, the suggestion to restrict school cafeterias to serving only healthy choices is misguided because it is improbable that cafeterias can financially or reliably obtain sufficient produce to cater to approximately 20% of the population. My esteemed opponents, hindsight is foresight, so please conduct thorough research and reconsider this foolhardy proposal. Thank you.
Round of applause for Synovell Richards Academy, Teresia Desiree, and she completed her presentation in a time of 5 minutes. We now move on to our second speakers from both teams. We start with the proposition, Amaya Moore from the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. Welcome her.
All protocols already being established, Madam Moderator, I would like to firmly support my colleague in her position that schools should only serve healthy food options. I will look at food and mental health problems and academic performance. The increase in mental health problems in children is of growing concern around Antigua and Barbuda. Mental disorders, including anxiety, mood and impulse control disorders, affect a person's quality of life and have a significant impact on schools. Nutrition plays a crucial role in neurodevelopment. As Ms. Beverly Hale, registered dietitian with the American Dietetics Association, noted, the brain does not develop or function very well on junk. She also notes that junk food have the ability to create addictions, which can result in depression. Furthermore, Tanya Anyos et al. In her article, Nutrition and Neurodevelopment in Children, posits that providing better nutrition has the potential to be a cost-effective approach in the prevention and management of mental health and behavioral problems. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Several teachers noted that students who have behavioral problems lose valuable contact time because of disciplinary issues. Students also note that when they are depressed and anxious, they cannot focus on their classwork. If some of these issues can be reduced by eating healthier food options, the time has come for schools to say no to junk food and yes to mental health. Educational institutions can also reduce negative peer pressure to eat unhealthily by offering only healthy options. In a 2019 study entitled Effects of Normative Influence on Graduate Students, Pembe et al. Noted that even graduate students ascribe extremely negative eating habits to other graduate students, and that some students felt ostracized by their peers if they made healthier food choices. By serving only healthy options, schools can reduce the incidence and impact of negative peer pressure in one aspect of students' lives. Furthermore, there is a strong correlation between nutrition and academic performance. By serving only healthy food options, schools contribute to improved cognitive function and development, concentration, and improved achievement in their students. This enhanced feeling of self-worth and emotional well-being is fostered, and children are happier. In an article by the National Center for Homeless Education 2022, the authors note that children who do not get enough healthy food to eat may experience a variety of physical, mental, and emotional side effects that impact their ability to learn and socialize at school. Food insecurity is a form of trauma that many students encounter and that can manifest as anxiety and depression, which can prevent optimal learning. The parent coordinator at one of our local schools, Otters Comprehensive, has seen a significant increase, 94% of students in academic performance for students who are on the school's healthy breakfast program. Madam Moderator, given the effect of nutrition on mental health and academic performance, there is absolutely no reason for schools to serve unhealthy options. I thank you.
You know the drill. Another round of applause for Amaya Moore, the second speaker for the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School, and she completed her presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 58 seconds. We now move on to Team Sonovell Richards Academy. Please welcome their second speaker, Janelle Charles.
All protocols previously established. Good evening. My colleague has emphasized the impractical implementation of only serving healthy options in our school cafeterias. I will now solidify our argument by focusing on 1, the students' inability to afford these options, and 2, the waste of food. First and foremost, Madam Moderator, implementing this heinous policy will be counterproductive. During this guava crop season, the cost of providing these healthy options will be passed on to students. We must recognize that many of the 11,000 students in public schools come from low-income households, unlike private school attendees who tend to hail from middle and high-income brackets, according to the Ministry of Education. So who will feel the squeeze? It is most likely the students on this side of the podium. According to the National Library of Medicine, low-income households often opt for low-cost, energy-rich starches and vegetable fats, since they are the cheapest way to fill empty stomachs. For these students, a healthy option is not an option. Consequently, students who cannot afford these healthy lunches will simply go hungry. And as Maslow pointed out, hungry children can't think. Hungry children can't focus. Hungry children can't learn. Therefore, Madam Moderator, these students will likely revert to the vendors who offer cheaper and more appetizing alternatives. If this policy does not extend to school vendors, then this whole proposal will fail. Essentially, this policy will ultimately boil down to who can afford these meals. Since nutrition affects learning, the policy may very well widen the achievement gap between public and private schools. Secondly, Madam Moderator, it is important to consider that serving only healthy options will result in serious waste. Madam Moderator, children have defective palates that are not always aligned with what is healthy. We have been conditioned to enjoy sweet and fatty foods. Thanks to our parents, learned opponents. Have you ever seen a child in a supermarket throwing a tantrum over broccoli or cabbage? However, if this unjust policy is implemented, these tantrums will be extended to cafeterias, and ironically, these nutritious meals will end up nourishing the flies in the garbage bins. This will result in wasted energy, resources, and food. Madam Moderator, I do not endorse in wasting food, but the Pennsylvania State University agrees that 50% of wasted food in cafeterias is fruits and vegetables. So why serve foods kids are not going to eat? Madam Moderator, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. Worthy opponents, I understand that your intention is to promote healthier eating habits among students, but you are burdening an already overwhelmed education system by insisting that only healthy healthy options should be served in cafeterias. Worthy opponents, I beg you, please do not Jim Jones us into adopting this Kool-Aid of a policy. Instead, it would be better to offer a diverse range of meals that include options for every student. Thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Janelle Charles, Team Sonovel Richards Academy, and she completed her presentation in a time of 3 minutes and 5 seconds. We will take our second break this evening to hear from our sponsor, Caribbean Union Bank. When we return, the rebuttal is next.
Caribbean Union Bank for all your banking needs. Credit cards, savings, accounts, and CDs. POS terminals for convenience. While helping you with small business development. Whether you need help to achieve your goal, or land loans and mortgages for your dream home. Supporting many programs to help the nation's youth. CUB is always here for you. Times are changing, don't you know? CUB, you can bank on us. Whatever you need, just let us know. CUB, you can bank on us. Saving your money and your time with the quality service we provide. Banking the better way every time. CUB, you can bank on us.
CUB cares. Call us today at 481-8278. Let's talk.
Welcome back to the 2024 Caribbean Union Bank Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. If you're just joining us, the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary and the Sonovel Richards Academy are meeting to debate the moods. School cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. The rebuttal segment begins. We begin with the opposition, Sonovel Richards Academy. Each presenter will be given 3 minutes in which to complete his or her presentation, and in this case, her presentation. The bell will ring once at the beginning of the final minute and twice when the maximum allotted time has expired. I know you're ready and you're eager, and so am I. Please welcome to start the rebuttal. Give it up for Sonovel Richards Academy, Teresia Desri.
Madam Moderator, honorable judges, esteemed opponents, listening and viewing audiences, good evening once again. Honorable judges, my opponents will want you to believe that we are against healthy eating, but they are misleading you. We are here to argue whether only healthy choices should be sold in our school cafeterias. My worthy opponents, firstly, you stated that eating unhealthy foods would increase obesity. A child detective palette is found from the homes. So why don't we hold the parents accountable for these horrible eating habits? Honorable judges, if you buy a phone from iNet and it somehow end up broken, no matter how much time you take it back to iNet, it cannot be fixed. But it has to be sent back to the manufacturers. So why don't we send these kids back to their manufacturers? Secondly, you stated that eating healthy improves a child's academic performance, but it can only be applied if they can even afford them. Furthermore, research shows that 50% of healthy foods from cafeterias are wasted in bins to treat the flies. Thirdly, you stated eating junk food has an effect on mental health. But don't you realize that forcing students to eating only healthy food is counterproductive, because it will most likely detect these options, especially because they cannot afford them. Finally, the Seventh-day Adventist New Start program, created in 1978, states that to take a holistic approach that nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, ear, rest, and trust in God is a way to have a healthy lifestyle. My worthy opponents, you are the Seventh-day Adventists. LA Times shows that Adventists live up to 10 years longer than the average person. If so, why don't you only serve healthy choices in your cafeterias? Is it because you cannot afford one and have not had one since 2012? My worthy opponents, when you can't afford a cafeteria, then you will be afforded the right to come back to this podium and to dictate what cafeterias should and should not serve. Thank you.
That was Novel Richards Academy, Daricia Desiree, and she completed her presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. We now move on to end the rebuttals. We will hear from the proposition. Please welcome Amaya Moore, Seventh-day Adventist Secondary.
All protocols already being established. Madam Moderator, our opponents have clearly missed the point. They have tried to convince you that serving unhealthy options to students is a good thing. Absolutely ridiculous. Our focus is serving only healthy options, and we have another opportunity to clarify their misinformation. Firstly, our opponents have stated that they cannot cater to the population. However, this is a great opportunity for our government to put their money where their mouth is and to produce more affordable foods for schools. Furthermore, there can be programs started to help produce healthy meals for the less fortunate. Madam Moderator, are we to expect our youth to lead if they're dying before elderly population because of these non-communicable diseases from these poor healthy food choices? Secondly, Madam Moderator, our opponents have stated an incorrect definition of healthy foods. But after listening to several interviews and looking at several researches, we have concluded that the standard definition for healthy food options is not just limited to fruits and vegetables, but it is foods that are nutrient-dense and low in fat, salt, and sugars. Thirdly, our opponents stated that there's a potential for food waste. Were the opponents, why is wastage really a concern? The excess food can be given to the less fortunate, and the excess food can be given to the less fortunate, and also can be used for compost to the school's farms. If students are involved in making some of these foods, they can make it to their appeal and satisfaction. Lastly, our opponents have noted that food prices are costly. While we agree healthy food prices are costly, do you know that the cost for medical care expenses far outweighs the upfront cost of healthy food options? Also, schools can partner with local farms to reduce the cost of vegetables or have their own. Furthermore, healthy foods can be made healthy by the preparation. Instead of frying a chicken, why not bake it? The cost of the chicken is still the same, but the preparation makes it healthier. To conclude, despite the reasons that they have made and the arguments that they have attempted to make, we still maintain that school cafeterias should only serve healthy food options. I thank you.
Thank you, Amaya Moore, Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. She completed her rebuttal in a time of 2 minutes and 46 seconds. And I'm sure you will agree with me that we stepped off the platform today on the right footing. Don't you agree? Come on. Round of applause for both of our schools. And I think all the other schools to follow will have to follow in their footsteps. They set the pace. Let's keep it that way. Round of applause for the Seventh-day Adventists and the Sir Novel Richards Academy. This brings us to the end of the first encounter in the first round of the 2024 CUB Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we will hear from the judges. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Union Bank for all your banking needs. Credit cards, savings, accounts, and CDs. POS terminals for convenience. While helping you with small business development. Whether you need help to achieve your goal, or land loans and mortgages for your dream home. Supporting many programs to help the nation's youth. CUB is always here for you. Times are changing.
Call us today at 481-8278. Let's talk.
Thank you for staying with us. The Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School and Synoville Richards Academy met in this encounter. The judges have deliberated and tallied their scores to present their findings and to announce the winning team. Please welcome from the judges panel, Mr. Gavin Emmanuel. Welcome him.
Good afternoon. Let me first start by congratulating both teams from the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary and from the Synoville Richards Academy. This afternoon, the judges thought that the debate was of a high standard, and both teams are to be commended for that. This debate is one that showed both teams arguing on a moot that can be sometimes emotive, but it was very pleasing that both teams really stuck to the moot from a research point of view. So we found that the teams made excellent use of research. The research material was varied from varying sources, from local, regional, and international sources, and this is very good. There was also good use of statistics. Both teams as well were able to set the parameters for their teams, and the speakers stuck to those outlined arguments. And so this shows good teamwork, it shows good research, good collaboration on the part of the teams. The confidence for both teams was impressive. Usually, as students go along in a debate or in the series, they tend to get better. We found that this afternoon, both teams started off very well in terms of their confidence, in terms of their delivery, in terms of their overall understanding of debate. We had some challenges, however, with some issues. And one of the main ones is that at all times, try to avoid repeating points, especially in the prepared scripts. Repetition sometimes can give the illusion that you have run out of things to say, and so you start to repeat what your colleague would have said before. There's some points, although the confidence was impressive, there are some points where we believe the fluency of the speakers can be improved, and with practice, that will improve, we hope, as you go along in the series. There were times where some speakers would have picked up their pace towards the end of the scripts. While that can be an effective technique if well used, doing so only at the end of the script can give the illusion that you're nervous or that you're trying to rush to finish the script. So try to maintain a good pace throughout your presentation. There's also a need to focus on voice modulation and volume. Remember, consistently speaking at a particular volume can come across sometimes as shouting, and you want to avoid that as well. One particular issue that the judges need to point out as well is to try to avoid what we call ad hominem attacks. In other words, attacking an individual and not the individual's argument, right? It is to be avoided at all times within a debate. We found that at times within the debate that sometimes there were attempts to be humorous, which can be a good thing. It could be an effective technique, but just be very careful in the way you go about trying to bring across humor, because humor not well done can turn out to be catastrophic. All right? But at the end of this debate, we thought that the debate was generally won on the strength of the rebuttals. And so with those few observations, I shall proceed to give the scores. We found that the better speaker for the proposition goes to Miss Amaya Moore. The better speaker for the opposition goes to Miss Janelle Charles. For this evening's debate, the best overall speaker was Miss Janelle Charles of the Sir Novell Richards Academy. So with that, we go to the scores. The average score for the proposition is 73.67, and the average score for the opposition is 72. The winner, therefore, is the Seventh-day Adventist by a score of 73.67 to 72. Congratulations to both teams, and I should note as well, the scoreline tells you the closeness of the debate, and there's always the opportunity for a school with a very high losing score to make a comeback. So don't be downtrodden, don't be dismayed. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gavin Emmanuel, for bringing us the judge's decision. And I think we need to give a great big round of applause to our winners, the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. And another round of applause to congratulate them all for doing an excellent job. It is time for our closing remarks, and we will start with the Sir Novell Richards Academy Best Speaker, Janelle Charles. Welcome her.
Good evening, all. Firstly, I would like to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for bringing us all here in good health to debate the moot on both sides. Secondly, I would like to thank my debate coaches, Mrs. Archibald and Mrs. Ward, my amazing team for their support, as well as our parents for coming out to be here with us. Finally, I would like to thank my opponents for such a lively discussion. And, honorable judges, thank you for your decision. Win or lose, it was a great experience.
That was Janelle Charles, Sir Novell Richards Academy. It is now time to hear from the winning team, the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. Give it up for Jordan Roberts.
Firstly, I would like to thank God for giving my colleague and I the confidence and strength to go through this debate. We would also like to thank our school and teachers for giving us the opportunity to represent them, the Ministry of Education and the Caribbean Union Bank for making the competition possible, and the judges for taking their time to judge this competition. Thank you once again for this wonderful experience. Good evening.
Thank you, Jordan, from the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary. I know that you will agree, as I mentioned before, that this was the right start for debate 2024. So congratulations once again, once more to both our teams for doing an outstanding job. Thank you also to our studio and television audiences for joining us this evening for the 2024 CUB Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. Be sure to join us next week for a brand new encounter when the Antigua Grammar School meets the Piers Secondary School. Remember also to stay positive And until next week, I'm your moderator, Priscilla Marsh Sutton. Stay positive. Bye-bye.